Let's take a look at politics and very interesting scenario playing out in Ukambani. 5 parties, the Wiper Democratic Party, NAC, CCPU and Muungano Party have agreed to work together to push for Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka to be given the NASA presidential ticket. Leaders of the party, however, say that they will support the man chosen to be the NASA presidential candidate. The leaders of the parties, including former Lands Minister Charity Ngilu, met early this week and are set to hold another meeting to firm up mechanisms of ensuring they compete fairly among themselves in the region. Led by Kalonzo Musyoka, they are expected to hold rallies in Ukambani region. All right, that clearly is going to change the political landscape in Ukambani. So let's have a conversation this morning with Mutua Katuku, former minister from the People's Trust Party. Good morning. Good to see you. It's been a while. How have you been?
Doing well.
So what's happening politically in Ukambani? I understand you and a couple of other Ukambani leaders met Kalonzo Musyoka. What was the meeting all about? What was agreed? Which way forward?
Yes, true. We had several meetings. Actually, it started early in the week, and it culminated with a meeting with the party leader of Wiper. It involved 5 parties. Wiper, which is led by Kalonzo, NAC, which is led by Charity Ngilu, PTP, People's Trust Party, which I am the leader, and CCU, which is led by Wavinya Ndeti and Muungano, of which has come together with the Wiper, but it has its own identity. So the purpose of the meeting was to chart way forward as we face this election. And as a community, we wanted to have a common position, which you have developed and which you are continuing to develop. But as far as the position we took in relation to which way to go.
To which way is that? I'm very interested.
The way to go as a community, we have agreed as the leaders from the community. Yeah. And we are going to involve other leaders. But as that now, we have agreed to go the NASA way, which is involving all the parties in Ukambani. We have agreed to support that agenda. And we have also agreed to support Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka in his effort to be the flag bearer of NASA. So that's an agreement we have agreed, and we are trying to shape it. We are trying to bring more people on board to support as a community, as a group of leaders from that community. We agree and we understand it. It involves also other leaders from other regions. But we have to persuade them to tell them Kalonzo is the best candidate for us. If it doesn't work out, we have agreed to stick to NAC, to NASA, if it doesn't work out in our way. But we don't think it's not going to work out. But also what was important more to us was what is at stake for the community. It's not about Kalonzo per se, it's about the community. If we were to go to NASA way, what is it for us as a community? What is it? Is it not about personalities? We had issues previously, previous government, like for example, during the Moi's time, it was Moi and Mulu Mutisi running the show in Ukambani. What did we benefit? During the Kibaki time, which was better for us as we compare to other regimes, we realized that time we had a good arrangement with Kibaki as all the leaders from the region, and we benefited a lot in terms of resources allocation, in terms of government appointments, in terms of involving our people in development in the area. That was better as compared to the others. Come to the Uhuru Ruto system, we had a case of Ngilu working with them. And for a while, Ngilu was thrown out. Also, during the Kibaki time, the second part of Kibaki time, we had Kalonzo working with Kibaki closely. What did we benefit? That's what we are trying to compare. And that's what we are saying as we go to the next phase now of forming the next government. We must, as leaders from the region, agree among ourselves what to demand from whoever is given the flag bearer of NASA. May it be Kalonzo. He must tell us, if you are the president, what will you give our region? What do you want as a region? Yeah, what we want in our region is resources first and foremost to develop the region. For example, we are being having issues of water, scarcity of water, inadequate facilities in relation to water, infrastructure, and other developments. What is important? I've been a minister for water. But if you look at what is allocated to the Ministry of Water in terms of development of water infrastructure, it's very little in terms of budget. We are demanding that in our region, we must be given adequate budget to sort out the issue of drought in the areas, shortage of water, develop systems which can be long-lasting. And also get out of this business of rain-fed agriculture, where we all rely on rain, which in our region is rare. So what we are saying, any government we are going to get into must address the issue of the budget to cater for our needs. It must also get us adequate representation in the government. If you look at the current government now, we are not involved as such, 2-3 people, but as a community we feel we are not in that government. We must get our people in that government so that they'll be able to influence decisions in that government. We must get also other professionals.
But you do realize in politics you don't necessarily need your own to have development in your region, do you?
Yes, it's the case, but in our Kenya politics, if you are being realistic, if you are out there, you may not be get the best deal. And that's why we are trying to negotiate before anybody gets to the office. If we had negotiated with Uhuru before he got to the office, we'll be asking, why have you not done this? Why have you not done this? On behalf of the community. And that's why we are saying, even though we have budgets, even those budgets are formulated by individuals, those individuals must be lobbied into ensuring our region gets the best budget. That's what we are saying, and that's why we are saying we must have a deal. Either with the Kalonzo, either with the Raila, is the flag bearer, or Musalia Mudavadi, he must tell us what he has for us.
You know, right now we're working with the assumption that Kalonzo Musyoka probably will be the presidential flag bearer of NASA.
Yes.
So if he's not, where does that leave the conversation that you had?
Already we have agreed as a community, we are best served in NASA. And therefore, if Kalonzo is not the flag bearer, we have all agreed we will stick to NASA. But we don't believe he will not be. He will be the candidate. That's our belief. And we are strongly lobbying. And even at this forum, I'm still lobbying for him to be given the flag bearer. Not because he's
using
one
my
of us.
airtime to lobby.
So I'm using your airtime to lobby for that position. Anyway, what we are saying is if we don't get it, we will not run away. Where do we run to? To Jubilee, where they have been unable to fulfill their promises, where they have been unable to adequately address our issues, where they have been unable to govern. The economy has gone down. Everything is haywire. The doctors, we have seen doctors on strike. They have been able to sort of issues in this kind of insecurity, strikes. You can see doctors and all those kind of things. So what we are saying, the only option we have is to mobilize our people, mobilize Kenyans, and take over this government through NASA. That's what we are saying, because at the end of the day, Kenyans are suffering. For how long are we going to suffer? If you look at NASA, NASA is more representative. NASA involves all the communities, as compared to Jubilee, which looks like it involves only 2 communities. We are telling people in those communities.
But it recently took in parties and they all came into one.
You know, one thing they did, a big mistake, is to decrease the democratic space by collapsing parties into one. That is not what we have been fighting for. We have been fighting for expanding democratic space. And that's why PTP was formed, People's Trust Party, to take that advantage. In fact, the party was formed or registered in September last year. And it was mainly to take charge of that disadvantage which was brought by these parties. When you collapse parties into one, what are you telling people? For example, now I'm going for Senator of Machakos. If I was in Wiper, do you think I will get that ticket? Because Mudhama is close to Kalonzo. I will not get that ticket. But now in the PTP, I'll give Machakos people a chance to get a person who can compete with the Wiper candidate. And that's why we're saying the expand democratic space. And that's why in the current situation, you find Jubilee is killing democracy. And as we are saying, we want to expand democracy. So that gives Kenyans a chance to elect whoever they want. It is not the parties which are so important. Our parties in Kenya, ideology-wise, they're all the same. But that's why we are saying we need to give chance to Kenyans to elect the person they want. In NASA, we are saying we have parties from different regions and which have even a nationwide tech. But when you look at it, you can see the people from Western, from Eastern, from everywhere who are supporting this party. Why can't you get into this kind of arrangement and form the next government using a nationwide kind of political platform rather than Jubilee, which is just two-sided.
I wish I had a Jubilee representative here. Listen, let's talk a little bit about the nomination.
Yes.
And Wiper has been very categorical that they're not going to be part of a joint process. Which direction do you think this is going to take? Because Kalonzo Musyoka said we are not going to do joint nomination exercise. And of course, the other side says we need to stick together. How do you see this playing out?
I may not want to speak on behalf of Wiper because I'm a leader of another party, known as People's Trust Party. But as a politician, nominations are
actually
normally...
that's your mind.
Yes,
I was speaking.
Yes. Nominations are normally very, very meaningless because of interest. And the candidates have different interests. So when you are telling a candidate to go and do nomination, whether in the same party or in a different party, it's an issue. Politicians fear nominations to start with. Parties have no capacity to conduct good nominations. Whether it's a joint nomination or whether it's a party nomination, they have no capacity. Even the ruling party has no capacity. Wait and see. When the election nomination will be called, there will be so many people will be out there thrown out because of...
Including in NASA?
Yeah, including NASA. Some of the people will not be satisfied because the process may not be fair. Those who are close to the leaders may be given a fair deal. Those who don't even know the leader may be thrown out. There are those deals which are cut behind the scenes. I've been involved in politics for a while, and I know nominations are not the best. And that's why you find it is not... You are seeing, like, parties which are in NASA are fearing the nomination. It's normal. But it's also dangerous also not to have a strategy, because you can find these parties losing to Jubilee because they field so many candidates. So it is especially the areas where there are no strongholds. For example, in our region, Ukambani, it's not a danger in any way, because it is the people who decide who they want. And whoever they want will normally be... That's why I brought all these parties to one kind of approach. They will all be in NASA. Whether it's Katuku, whether it's Mudama, is in NASA. Whether it's Ngilu, whether it's Malombe or Mutsila, they are in NASA.
Okay,
so
fine.
The region like Nairobi may be very tricky, because you may find NASA with 10 candidates and the Jubilee with 1, and they will share the votes for the NASA and get the billion. But that's why we are saying, such a region, we need a joint nomination.
So where does that leave Jubilee in terms of support in Ukambani region?
With these main parties in Ukambani coming together.
Be specific. You're saying with us guys coming together?
These us guys coming together. Jubilee is in problems. Because now, I don't even think they'll get even 1% in Ukambani. Because as far as I'm concerned, the region will go NASA way if we mobilize it well. Okay. So Jubilee is in problem in Ukambani. And I want to assure them they have no votes in Ukambani. They should not waste time there.
All right, Mutwa Katuku, former minister, and of course from People's Trust Party. Thank you so much for speaking to us on News Center this morning. We thank you for your time and for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
All right, you're watching News Center. Thank you for staying with us. Let's take a breather. We'll be back.